Heyo, welcome back to Cartoon Mania. Today we've got Steven Universe for you. Steven Universe is an American animated television series created by Rebecca Sugar for Cartoon Network. It's set in the fictional town of Beach City, Delmarva, where the Crystal Gems, a group of magical beings, live in an ancient beachside temple and protect humanity from monsters and other threats. The show originally ran for 5 seasons from 2013 to 2019. It was followed by an epilogue series, Steven Universe Future, which aired in 2020. In this video though, we'll cover the entirety of this show from the beginning to the end in detail. So kick back, relax, and enjoy. Let's start with the first episode to set some stage for the rest of the show. In the first episode, Steven, the human protagonist, faces disappointment when his favorite ice cream brand, Cookie Cat, is discontinued. To lift his spirits, his family, the Crystal Gems, surprise him with the last remaining batch. However, their celebration is interrupted by a battle with centipedals. Determined to unlock his gem powers, Steven seeks guidance from each gem. After various attempts, he discovers that eating ice cream triggers his gem to glow, eventually revealing his unique weapon, a pink shield. When a formidable foe, the centipedal mother, emerges, Steven, armed with Cookie Cats, bravely joins the fight. Despite initial struggles, he finds an unconventional way to defeat the monster, leaving the gems impressed and encouraging Steven's unique journey in mastering his gem abilities. Now let's go back in time and understand what's happening. In the world of Steven Universe, we have gems that have developed consciousness and a physical form. We don't know how this began, but we do know that the white diamond was the first gem to go through this change, followed by blue, yellow, and pink diamonds. Soon after, more gems such as ruby, pearl, emerald, and sapphire took shape, and all of them were servants to the diamonds who resided on a planet called the Homeworld. To run that society, White Diamond came up with a castle system in which they had supreme authority, followed by servant pearls and guard rubies. Every other gem was of a lower class and was treated as one. Additionally, there was a phenomenon called fusion, which would allow 2 gems to merge their bodies and become one with capabilities of both in one body. White Diamond banned the fusion of gems of different races, and I'm only mentioning this because this would become an important part later. Now, the diamonds started making colonies on different planets to extract more gems from their mines to increase their population. Eventually, the younger sister, the Pink Diamond, who was more of a party girl, wanted a colony of her own. However, due to her immaturity and emotional nature, she was denied the role. Through pleading and begging, she was eventually given a planet to colonize for herself, which just so happened to be the good old planet Earth. When the colonization started, a base was built on the moon, followed by Prime Kindergarten, Lunar Sea Spire, Communication Hub, Sky Spire, and Sea Shrine. The extraction of gems was booming, and gems were made to follow a set plan until Rose Quartz came along. Instead of sticking to her duties, Rose became fascinated by Earth's beauty and life. She even shared her discoveries with other gems, raising concerns for Pink Diamond. When Rose asked Pink Diamond to spare Earth from colonization, Pink Diamond refused and sent her back to work. Not wanting to see Earth destroyed, Rose started a rebellion, convincing some gems to join her. Meanwhile, Pink Diamond sought help from Yellow and Blue Diamond to stop the rebellion. In response, Rose gathered allies among gems who were mistreated by Pink Diamond, forming the Crystal Gems. The Crystal Gems, in the present, consist of Pearl, Garnet, Amethyst, and Steven himself. Now, as for Pearl, let's just say that despite being Pink's loyal servant, she aligned with Rose's ideals to preserve life, and joined her as the very first member of Crystal Gems. As for Garnet, this one is pretty interesting. In the ancient days of Earth, some 5,750 years ago, Homeworld sought to colonize the planet. Rebels opposed this, causing Homeworld to dispatch a team of diplomats led by Sapphire, accompanied by 3 ruby bodyguards. As they approached Blue Diamond in the Cloud Arena, Sapphire, possessing the ability to glimpse the future, foretold a rebellion attack, resulting in a defeat of 7 gems, including herself and 2 rubies. However, she also predicts that Rose and Pearl will be captured and the rebellion will be over here and now. Sure enough, the rebels, Rose Quartz and Pearl, emerged promptly. They demanded Homeworld's departure and engaged in combat. Sapphire's predictions unfolded precisely, but a twist occurred when Ruby intervened to save her. altering fate by fusing with Sapphire into a chaotic and vibrant Garnet. Rose and Pearl fled, leaving behind confusion and anger. The crowd surrounded the unorthodox Garnet and Blue Diamond, surprised by the inaccurate vision, sentenced Ruby to shatter for fusing with a gem of a higher class. Sapphire, distraught, seized Ruby and the two escaped to Earth. Sheltered in a cave from the rain, Ruby fretted over their situation while Sapphire, in shock, acknowledged the changed course of fate. As they grappled with their feelings and newfound existence, Ruby and Sapphire grew closer. They expressed love through songs, eventually engaging in a fusion dance, reviving Garnet once again. Navigating her new form, Garnet stumbled upon Pearl and Rose. Fearful of upsetting them, Garnet offered to unfuse, but Rose welcomed her, valuing Garnet's feelings. Feeling a mix of fear and happiness, Garnet admitted her uncertainty, and Rose warmly accepted her as a new crystal gem. And this is how the story unfolded, marking the beginning of Garnet's journey on Earth. Now let's talk about the need for arms in wars. That's where Bismuth joined their ranks. She was a tank and a blacksmith for the crystal gems. She also made Rose's swords and helped the team give an even fight to the homeworld. During that time, Lapis Lazuli visited Earth and sadly got caught in the crossfire, ultimately getting poofed by Bismuth. Poofing is a state where a gem is reduced to a stone until regenerated. The homeworld gems thought Lapis had sided with the rebellion, so they locked her in a mirror and questioned her. When she couldn't give any answers, she was left to rot in the mirror for eternity. Now, as the war continued on, Bismuth created a weapon capable of permanently killing gems, which in the show is called shattering. She named this weapon the Breaking Point and presented it to Rose, who immediately dismissed it as she wanted to save lives and not take them. This sparked a conflict between the two, so Rose had no choice but to poof Bismuth and store her in a hidden dimension that we'll talk about later. Meanwhile, the war waged on, with losses on both sides, and Rose started questioning the entire purpose of this rebellion. Eventually, she came up with a plan to end it all, and with the help of Pearl, orchestrated a scheme to shatter Pink Diamond. After her death, the entire war shifted its course, and the other three Diamond sisters were devastated. As a punishment for killing their sister, they started experiments involving gem shards, which resulted in a monstrous creation called the Cluster. This thing was placed in the center of the Earth, and if it was given enough time, it would eat the planet from within. So it's kind of like this time bomb waiting to explode throughout the series. Also, since the whole colonization had cost them their sister, they decided to wipe the entire planet of gems. With a beam supported by all three of them, they apparently killed off every gem, but Rose used her shield to guard Pearl and Garnet from it. The rest were killed while Lapis and Bismuth survived in their respective prisons. Unbeknownst to them, the attack turned the gems into mindless monsters that became a threat to everyone around them. And with that, the war was over, at least for Homeworld. As Rose, Garnet, and Pearl continued to live on, they came across beta kindergartens where they found Amethyst, who popped out around 500 years after the war ended. With nowhere else to go, she joined the Crystal Gems, and they all resided in Beach City, where they built the Crystal Temple. More years passed, and Rose grew liking to a guy named Greg, who was a failed pop star. She would show up to his concerts, and Greg decided to follow her to the Beach City. Once there, the two fell in love and later gave birth to a child whom we all know as our beloved Steven Universe. However, Rose had to sacrifice her physical body to bring Steven to life, and with the arrival of their child, she was reduced to a pink gem that was attached to Steven's belly button. Despite her departure, Pearl, Garnet, and Amethyst took Steven in as family and raised them like their own. So this is the entire backstory of the show. Now, let's get to the show once again from the beginning.
Are the crystal gems?
In Beach City, Steven and Amethyst discover a massive orb, the Red Eye, hurtling towards Earth. The crystal gems attempt various methods, including launching Amethyst and searching for Rose Quartz's laser light cannon to stop it. Steven enlists his dad, Greg, who reveals the cannon's location in his old storage unit. Along the way, Greg shares stories about Steven's mother, Rose Quartz. In the storage unit, Steven accidentally breaks a photo, but Greg dismisses it, saying if every pork chop were perfect, we wouldn't have hot dogs. Wow, wise words. Upon reaching the beach, they destroy the Red Eye, saving the day. However, the red eye was most likely sent by Homeworld, so new troubles are on their way for our crystal gems. They now have to prepare Steven in case of another gem war, so they take him on his first ever mission and even teach him the art of sword fighting. He also learns to shapeshift, but can only shapeshift his fingers into tiny cat heads. Later, Steven attempts to impress a girl named Connie by showcasing his bike riding skills, but his nervousness leads to a tumble. The gems, observing from a distance, realize Steven's interest in Connie and contemplate setting up a playdate. However, Garnet advises Steven to simply talk to her. Armed with a glowing bracelet, Steven approaches Connie, but their meeting takes a perilous turn when a cliff collapses. Steven's gem activates, encasing them in a protective bubble. Unable to disable it, Steven seeks help from Sadie and Lars, Onion, and even tries a roller coaster. Amid mishaps and bonding moments, they encounter a giant worm, Spodumene, and Steven uses the glowing bracelet to defeat it. The gems arrive, preserving Steven's funky flow, leaving Connie intrigued about the term. The gems and Steven explore a desert filled with unpredictable sandstone structures. While investigating a loud roar, the gems leave Steven behind, and he encounters a mystical pink lion. Despite initial apprehension, Steven realizes the lion is friendly. Later, an explosion draws them to a monster guarding the desert glass, a gem on a red velvet pillow. Returning home, Steven discovers the lion at his doorstep. Attempting to bond through games and a visit to Fish Stew Pizza, Steven becomes frustrated when the lion reveals interest only in the desert glass. Frustration grows as the sand structures form a castle. In a daring move, Steven, with Lion's help, retrieves the gem, realizing the lion aimed to protect them. The gems permit Steven to keep the lion. Connie shares her excitement for the upcoming movie, Dogcopter 3, with Steven and the gems. The gems attempt to impress Connie, who remains skeptical about her ordinary life compared to Steven's magical adventures. Using Lion as transportation, and yes, you could do that, apparently, they embark on a fantastical journey to the theater. Lion reveals his magical abilities, walking on water and creating portals. Inside an ancient training temple, Steven unintentionally activates a variety of weapons. A robot pursues them, leading to a battle where Connie's tennis skills play a crucial role. Despite the chaos, they make it to the movie. Connie, appreciating Steven's uniqueness, watches Dogcopter 3 with him, and the episode humorously ends with Lion in a parody of the MGM logo. Steven takes Connie to a cliff for a picnic and explains the fence around it. He recounts a story of Amethyst goofing around, falling off the cliff, and cracking her gem. The gems reveal that Rose Quartz had healing tears, prompting Steven to try and heal Amethyst's gem. Failing to cry, they head to Rose's healing spring, but it's overgrown. Attempting to cause tears through pain, Amethyst's condition worsens. Thorns attack them, and Steven tries to save Amethyst, but his tears only work when he is genuinely upset. The healing spring activates, saving Amethyst. In the present, Steven accidentally discovers his healing saliva while sharing a juice box with Connie, surprising them both. Steven attempts to understand the concept of school to spend more time with Connie during summer vacation. When Pearl's attempt at setting up a school fails, she introduces a gem mirror capable of showing historical events. Steven discovers the mirror can communicate and forms a bond with it. Despite the gem's fear of the mirror's sentience, Steven defends it. Later, the mirror warns Steven of danger, saving him from Mayor Dewey's van. Steven's attachment to the mirror becomes a source of conflict with the gems. Ultimately, the mirror guides Steven to release a trapped Lapis Lazuli. And yes, coincidentally, it's the same mirror. When Lapis confronts the crystal gems, Steven intervenes, leading to his grounding by Garnet. After learning about the ocean's disappearance, Beach City faces chaos, and Steven, grounded by the gems, embarks on a mission with the crystal gems, Greg, Connie, and Lion to confront Lapis Lazuli. As they reach the ocean floor, they discover Lapis's colossal water spire. A battle ensues against the water clones of the gems, leading to a confrontation with Lapis at the spire's peak. Steven convinces Lapis to open up about her desire to return to Homeworld. Learning of her cracked gem, Steven uses his healing powers to restore Lapis, who departs into space. The spire collapses, causing Steven to fall. Connie and Lion rescue him, and Lapis's departure restores the ocean, bringing relief to the beach city. After discovering his ability to grow sentient watermelon versions of himself, Steven starts a watermelon business, selling them at Funland. The low prices cause a crowd to form, attracting attention from Sadie and Ronaldo. Onion steals one of the watermelons, and Steven realizes they are alive. Baby Melon, one of the watermelons, springs to life and hugs Steven, revealing their sentience. When Watermelon Stevens attack Ronaldo, Steven alerts the Crystal Gems. The gems engage in a battle with the Watermelon Stevens, but Steven intervenes, pleading for peace. Baby Melon sacrifices itself to stop the fighting, prompting Steven to send the Watermelon Stevens away until they understand true loyalty. The gems commend Steven, and he takes a bite of Baby Melon's slices. Sorry, this is just so confusing. At home, Steven contemplates what his late mother, Rose Quartz, would have packed for him. That night, Steven dreams of a mysterious pink world and feels a strange pressure on his chest. Disturbed, he discovers that Lion is responsible for transporting him to a pink dimension within his mane. As Steven explores, he finds Rose's belongings and a videotape titled For Steven. With Sadie's help, they watch the tape, revealing a message from Rose to Steven expressing her love and anticipation for his unique human experience. The emotional revelation brings Steven to tears. Steven becomes fixated on a mysterious entity he sees in a warp stream. Despite the gem's assurance that there is nothing to fear, Steven's paranoia grows, leading to tensions as they investigate various warp paths. Steven stumbles upon a swarm of Flask robonoids, repairing the galaxy warp. The gems confront Peridot, a green gem, who destroys one of the robots. Peridot plants an EMP device on the warp pad, hinting at potential dangers from Homeworld. After she leaves, Garnet, revealing an ominous side, smashes the Homeworld warp, declaring Peridot won't return. The gems teach Steven fusion dancing, but doubts arise due to his half-human nature. Steven expresses frustration, prompting a heart-to-heart dance with Connie. After a spontaneous and successful fusion dance on the beach, Steven and Connie become Stevani, a fusion of their identities. The gems, initially concerned, receive guidance from Garnet, who views Stevani as a unique experience. Stevani explores Beach City, enjoying newfound attention and acceptance, even attending a party where they confront social anxiety. Amid a dance with an unwelcome participant, Stevani's gem glows and they involuntarily unfuse. Despite the temporary distress, the experience strengthens Steven and Connie's bond, and they joyfully embrace their shared memories. In the episode The Return, Steven, Greg, and Beach City residents witness a mysterious green hand-shaped ship in the sky, believed to be Peridot's arrival. The Crystal Gems, joined by Steven, deploy the Quartazine Quartet to counter the ship, but their efforts prove futile. As they prepare for an impending battle, Steven is instructed by the gems to evacuate Beach City, realizing it's his destiny to protect the citizens. Greg reluctantly reveals to Steven the truth about the gems' past invasion and Rose Quartz's rebellion against her own kind to protect Earth. Determined to help, Steven launches himself out of the van with his bubble shield and, with Lion's assistance, heads back to Beach City. There, he confronts Peridot, Jasper, and Lapis Lazuli, attempting to shield the crystal gems from the ship's blast and collapsing in exhaustion after displaying a power reminiscent of his mother, Rose Quartz. Jasper captures Steven, mistaking him for Rose. In the episode Jailbreak, Steven finds himself imprisoned in a cell on a giant hand-shaped ship after the crystal gems' defeat by Jasper. He discovers he can pass through the force field unharmed due to his half-human nature and sets out to find the others. Steven frees Ruby, a gem prisoner, and together they hear the singing of a distant girl, Sapphire. Ruby runs off to find Sapphire, and Steven discovers that they are on a ship orbiting Earth. Steven then encounters Lapis Lazuli, another captive who refuses his help. Promising to return for her, Steven continues his search. As he approaches Sapphire's cell, he overhears Jasper's plans to go to the gem homeworld, mistaking Steven for Rose Quartz. Steven frees Sapphire and they reunite with Ruby, forming Garnet. Garnet, thanking Steven, explains she is in a fusion of Ruby and Sapphire. Garnet battles Jasper while Steven rescues Pearl and Amethyst. After the ship crashes on Earth, Lapis fuses with Jasper to become Malachite and tries to restrain her. As Malachite struggles in the ocean, Garnet notes that Jasper and Lapis are toxic to each other, and Steven receives a distress call from Connie.
Are the crystal gems
After the battle with Jasper, Connie grows concerned upon hearing Steven's distressing message. Steven, unsure of how to explain the events, avoids her calls and wanders Beach City. Feeling responsible for the damage and fearing for Connie's safety, he decides to end their friendship. However, Connie finds him and demands an explanation. Overwhelmed, Steven breaks down and admits he still wants to be friends. He tearfully recounts the events, including Jasper mistaking him for rose quartz. Connie reassures him, expressing her desire to be part of his universe. They reconcile, and Steven, Connie, and Greg drive through Beach City as life returns to normal. The crystal gems help Steven fold laundry while discussing Peridot's potential threat to Earth. They decide to investigate the kindergarten, suspecting Peridot's interest in reactivating it. During the investigation, Steven encounters Peridot recording experiments and accidentally reveals the presence of the crystal gems. A chase ensues, with Peridot using inventive escapes. Meanwhile, Garnet and Steven discover a horrifying secret: gem shards forcibly fused into grotesque clusters. Garnet is deeply disturbed, emphasizing the importance of consent and fusion. After a harrowing experience, Garnet and Steven discuss the fusion's emotional depth, reinforcing the concept of love as the essence of Garnet's existence. In the episode Catch and Release, Steven's night takes an unexpected turn when Peridot kidnaps him and brings him to the galaxy warp. Peridot demands he fix the homeworld warp, but Steven's attempt fails. Peridot becomes distressed, hinting at an impending catastrophe on Earth. The crystal gems arrive, poof Peridot, and dismiss her claims. Later, Steven's curiosity leads him to Rose's room, where he watches a playback of Peridot's previous statements. Determined to understand her warning, he frees Peridot from her bubble. In a comedic chase, Steven learns Peridot knows about the cluster, a destructive force. The gems confine Peridot to Steven's bathroom, trying to coax information from her. The episode ends with Steven attempting a friendly approach to gain Peridot's trust. In the episode Back to the Barn, Peridot explains the threat of the cluster, a catastrophic event forming within the Earth. The gems plan to build a drill to stop it, leading to Peridot's involvement in their efforts. As they gather supplies at the barn, tensions rise between Peridot and Pearl. The conflict escalates into a competition, the Robo-Olympics, where they build robots to determine the leader of the drill project. The competition ends in a tie, but Peridot, unsatisfied, forces a tiebreaker. A fierce battle ensues, and Peridot claims victory, asserting her superiority. The crystal gems, however, praise and support Pearl, emphasizing her uniqueness. Peridot eventually recognizes Pearl's skills and offers cooperation, marking a new chapter in their relationship as they work together on the drilling project. Steven, pleased with the resolution, reflects on the progress made. While all of this is going on, Steven celebrates his 14th birthday. In the episode It Could Have Been Great, Steven, Lion, and the crystal gems venture to the moon to retrieve information about the cluster. Peridot guides them through a diamond base, providing insights into gem hierarchy and society. They reach a control room where Peridot discovers the cluster's coordinates. After successfully obtaining the information, Peridot expresses her frustration with the gems for halting the colonization plan that could have made Earth great. The gems, however, reveal that this plan would have resulted in Earth's destruction. In a fit of anger, Garnet threatens Peridot, but Steven intervenes. As they leave the moon, Steven notices Peridot concealing a diamond-shaped object, creating intrigue and anticipation for future developments. In Message Received, Steven confronts Peridot about a mysterious diamond-shaped communicator she took from the moon base. Attempting to teach her Earth values, Steven takes the communicator, leading to Peridot's loyalty test. When revealed, it serves as a direct line to Yellow Diamond. The gems hide as Peridot contacts Yellow Diamond, admitting her failure and suggesting Earth's potential value. However, when Yellow Diamond dismisses Earth's worth, Peridot rebels, calling her a clod. Peridot, now a crystal gem, orders the communicator's disposal. As it detonates, she grapples with her newfound defiance, realizing she's become a traitor to Homeworld. Steven embraces her as a crystal gem, marking a significant shift in Peridot's allegiance.
Are the crystal gems?
In Super Watermelon Island, Watermelon Steven dreams of a thriving watermelon village on Mask Island with its own culture. Witnessing a ritual, Malachite suddenly appears, devours the chosen Watermelon Steven, and startles the real Steven awake. Outside the barn, Peridot attributes tremors to the cluster's emergence, but Steven insists it's malachite. He uses Watermelon Steven to observe the island, discovering a battle between malachite and the crystal gems. Against Garnet's orders, Peridot encourages Steven to aid the fight through Watermelon Steven's control. Aided by a Watermelon army, the crystal gems defeat malachite. However, the celebration is cut short by the emergence of the cluster. With the warp pad destroyed, Steven, accompanied by Peridot, prepares to enter the drill and confront the cluster alone. In Gem Drill, an earthquake signals the cluster's emergence, prompting Steven and Peridot to drill into the earth to confront it. As they navigate through the layers, facing cluster gems along the way, Peridot explains her conflicted feelings about Homeworld. Upon reaching the cluster, an immense spherical formation of various gems, Steven attempts a peaceful resolution, revealing its desire for companionship. Peridot insists on destroying it, leading to a failed attempt as the cluster resists. Steven communicates with the cluster, convincing it to seek connection rather than formation. With Steven's guidance, the gems within the cluster willingly bubble themselves, preventing its destructive emergence. The episode ends with the bubbled cluster peacefully nestled within the earth. You see, a little kindness goes a long way. In Same Old World, Lapis Lazuli grapples with her place on Earth after losing her chance to return to Homeworld. Steven, empathetic as always, offers to show her around different Earth locations. Initially resistant, Lapis agrees, and the two explore rural and urban environments, experiencing both the beauty and flaws of the planet. When they reach the galaxy warp, Lapis's traumatic memories resurface, revealing her past as a Homeworld prisoner. As she processes her history, Steven encourages her to give Earth another chance. Returning to the barn, Lapis reluctantly agrees to share the space with Peridot. In Crack the Whip, Pearl and Garnet leave to confront Jasper, leaving Steven and Connie to train. After a playful day around the beach city, they encounter Jasper and the corrupted gem. Amethyst engages Jasper in a fierce battle, but she's overpowered and poofed. Steven and Connie fuse into Stevani to defeat Jasper, with Amethyst returning to the fight with a new determination. Stevani successfully drives Jasper away, leaving Amethyst surprised by their fusion's strength. Despite defeating Jasper, Amethyst feels dejected, thinking that they don't need her. Steven discovers a hidden gem inside Lion's mane and brings out Bismuth, a former crystal gem. Reuniting with Garnet, Pearl, and Amethyst, Bismuth learns about the rebellion's outcome and the loss of her comrades. Overwhelmed with grief, she seeks revenge against Homeworld gems. Bismuth guides the crystal gems to her forge, enhancing their weapons. The gems engage in intense training rituals and share leisure activities with Bismuth. However, tensions rise when Bismuth reveals the breaking point, a weapon designed to shatter gems. Steven, committed to nonviolence, confronts Bismuth, leading to a dramatic clash and Bismuth's spoofing. Steven, emphasizing empathy, decides not to shatter Bismuth and bubbles her gem, destroying the breaking point. In Earthlings, Steven, Amethyst, and Peridot spy on Jasper, who is mistreating a corrupted gem. Amethyst attempts a rematch but fails against Jasper's strength. Steven's encouragement leads to Amethyst and him forming Smoky Quartz, successfully fending off Jasper. However, Jasper fuses with the corrupted gem, creating Zebra Jasper. Smoky Quartz battles Zebra Jasper with a yo-yo tornado but fails to prevent the corrupted gem's escape. Jasper's arm starts to corrupt, and despite Steven's offer to help, she violently rejects it. Jasper becomes fully corrupted, revealing the existence of Pink Diamond before being poofed by Peridot's intervention. Amethyst bubbles Jasper, and the crystal gems confront the Ruby Squad upon returning home. In Back to the Moon, the crystal gems encounter the Rubies, who return to Earth seeking Jasper. Amethyst, disguised as Jasper, leads the Rubies to the moon base to file a report. Eyeball reveals that she witnessed Rose Quartz shattering Pink Diamond during the rebellion. The gems manipulate the Rubies into leaving without Jasper. As the Rubies depart, Amethyst reveals her true identity, leading to a confrontation. The Rubies fuse to retaliate, but Steven opens the airlock, causing them to be ejected into space. In a surprising twist, Eyeball grabs Steven, pulling him into the vacuum of space as Sardonyx watches helplessly, setting the stage for a tense situation. In Bubbled, Steven finds himself adrift in space in a bubble, accompanied by an angry Eyeball Ruby. They engage in a heated discussion about rose quartz, with Eyeball refusing to believe Steven's identity as Rose's son. As they navigate an asteroid field, Eyeball's gem is damaged, prompting Steven to heal her with his powers. The revelation of Steven's healing ability causes Eyeball to believe his claim of being rose quartz. However, she later turns hostile, attempting to stab Steven and accusing him of shattering a diamond. In a daring move, Steven releases Eyeball into space, ultimately reuniting with the crystal gems in the roaming eye. The episode concludes with Garnet revealing the truth about Rose shattering Pink Diamond, leading to a contemplative moment for Steven. In Steven's dream, Steven has a troubling dream about a palanquin and seeks answers from Greg, who recalls Rose's reluctance to discuss certain topics. Connie helps Steven discover a drawing of the palanquin in Buddy's journal, prompting him to inquire with the gems. Garnet adamantly refuses, leading to a confrontation where Steven demands the truth. Garnet reveals that she can't accompany him due to fear and urges him to trust her. Ignoring Garnet's plea, Steven enlists Greg's help and, with Andy's plane, travels to Korea, where they explore and eventually find Blue Diamond mourning near Pink Diamond's shattered location. Blue Diamond reveals her plan to use a geoweapon and takes Greg captive. Despite Garnet's late arrival, Blue Diamond escapes with Greg into space, leaving Steven determined to rescue his father. In Adventures in Light Distortion, the crystal gems arrive at the human zoo in space, ready to confront Blue Diamond and rescue Greg. In Gem Heist, the crystal gems, led by Sapphire, elaborate disguise as an aristocrat, successfully infiltrate Pink Diamond's zoo, posing as high-ranking gem visitors on a delivery mission. Holly Blue Agate, the facility's supervisor, is initially fooled by their act. Ruby creates a diversion by falsely claiming the roaming eye's gravity engine is about to explode. While Holly Blue tends to the Fox emergency, Steven, Ruby, and Pearl attempt to enter the containment area to rescue Greg. They encounter challenges with the unfamiliar technology, but with Ruby's quick thinking, they manage to create a distraction. As they progress, they discover that Blue Diamond is on her way to the zoo, adding urgency to their mission. Steven undergoes the assimilation process to blend in with the human inhabitants, setting the stage for their plan to save Greg and escape. In the zoo, Steven discovers the seemingly idyllic existence of the human inhabitants in Pink Diamond's zoo, including Greg, who has been living in a utopian but confined space. Despite the inhabitants' apparent happiness, Steven is disrupted by the realization that they are unknowingly imprisoned, having never experienced life beyond the zoo's boundaries. Steven and Greg plan to find an elusive door that leads to the outside. During their exploration, they encounter the zoo's unique customs, including the choosening, a matchmaking ceremony. Greg's refusal to participate prompts the inhabitants to experience the concept of rejection and emotional pain for the first time. Welcome to the club. The ensuing chaos allows Steven and Greg to attempt an escape, but they are apprehended by an amethyst guard, signaling a precarious situation. In That Will Be All, Steven and Greg, along with Amethyst, find themselves among the quartz gems in Pink Diamond's zoo. Meanwhile, Sapphire convinces the diamonds to preserve more humans for the zoo, delaying their departure. After some shenanigans, the crystal gems, now heading back to Earth, reflect on their journey, with Steven grateful for reuniting with his dad. In I Am My Mom, Steven informs the crystal gems about Homeworld gems capturing humans for Pink Diamond's zoo. The gems confront Topaz and Aquamarine at Funland, who are here to capture humans for the zoo. Aquamarine seeks My Dad from a list Steven unknowingly provided to Peridot, targeting specific humans. To protect them, Steven falsely claims to be My Dad, causing the Topazes to fuse. A battle ensues on Aquamarine's spaceship, ending with Steven playing Rose Quartz to halt the mission. Steven willingly surrenders, disclosing his past to protect the captured humans. Despite protests, he enters the ship, revealing his sacrifice and love for the gems before departing for Homeworld, leaving a heartbroken Connie behind.
Are the crystal gems?
In The Trial, Steven faces a court trial on Homeworld for Pink Diamond's alleged shattering. Represented by a blue zircon, the trial unfolds with Yellow Diamond as the prosecutor and Blue Diamond as the grieving party. Eyeball testifies against Steven, presenting him a rose quartz. The blue zircon, Steven's defense attorney, questions the official account, suggesting an insider's involvement in Pink Diamond's shattering. In a bold move, she accuses the diamonds themselves, leading to her poofing. Amidst the diamond quarrel, Steven and his friend Lars, who was also there, escape using Blue Diamond's palanquin. In Off Colors, Steven and Lars, after surviving Yellow Diamond's attack, find themselves stranded on Homeworld. Faced with a shattering Robonoid, they take refuge in a tunnel where they meet the Rutile twins. The Off Colors, a group of detective gems, reveal themselves and explain the danger of being discovered. When Robonoids threaten them, Lars, realizing his organic nature, becomes invisible to their gemstone scanners. In a heroic act, Lars defends the Off Colors, seemingly sacrificing himself to save Pat Paracha. Distraught, Steven discovers Lars's lifeless body and mourns him. His tears unexpectedly resurrect Lars, turning him pink and leaving everyone astonished. Lars awakens with a scar and confusion, concluding the episode. Lars, now with a pink hue and unique abilities similar to Lion's, questions his altered state. In an attempt to communicate, Steven literally enters Lars's mind, revealing the Lion's dimension and an unexpected connection to Earth through that same dimension. Despite initial confusion, Lars joins Steven in embracing his differences. The Off Colors express curiosity about Earth, and Lars contemplates his role within the group. Determined to find a way back to Earth together, they reject leaving Lars behind. Eventually, Steven returns to Earth, surprising his worried friends and family. Sometime later, in Lars of the Stars, Steven and Connie, equipped with a care package for Lars, enter Lion's pocket dimension to reach Lars, who is revealed to be leading the Off Colors on a stolen spaceship, the Sun Incinerator. As Emerald, a gem commander, threatens them, Lars and the Off Colors recount their daring exploits, including evading homeworld authorities, impersonating Imperial officers, and stealing advanced ships. Despite facing imminent danger, Stevani boosts Lars's confidence, leading to a successful evasion of Emerald's warship. However, their escape is compromised, prompting Stevani to pilot Lars's custom starfighter, the Star Skipper. While they manage to damage the Destiny Destroyer, an explosive encounter with a missile sends them hurtling toward an unknown planet. Following their space battles, Stevani crash lands on a jungle world and adapts to its environment while seeking a way out. They grapple with moral choices, including a conflict over consuming alien wildlife. As they sleep, Stevani dreams of a past interaction between Yellow and Pink Diamond, revealing Pink's frustration with her lack of importance. Realizing the dream's connection to their location, Stevani activates a diamond console, reaching Lars just in time to evade an attacking bird creature. As Lars rescues Stevani, they reflect on the shattered window from Pink's outburst, highlighting the lingering influence of the diamonds in their journey. And now, for the biggest plot twist of the entire show, we have the episode A Single Pale Rose. Returning to Earth, Steven confronts Pearl about Pink Diamond's shattering. When she remains silent, Steven receives a mysterious text from Pearl, leading him into her gem. Inside, he travels through her memories, discovering a pivotal moment in the Gem War where Rose Quartz, who in reality was Pink Diamond all along, faked her shattering to join the Crystal Gems. Steven witnesses Pink Diamond's emotional conversation with Pearl, learning that she orchestrated the deception to end the war and free her followers. Once the truth is revealed, Pearl gives Steven her phone and admits her long-standing desire to share the secret. Amethyst and Garnet, overhearing, react with shock to the revelation of Pink Diamond's true identity. In the aftermath of Rose Quartz's true identity as Pink Diamond, Amethyst reacts with a shock, while Garnet undergoes a mental breakdown, splitting into Ruby and Sapphire. Ruby tries to console the betrayed Sapphire, who questions their entire relationship, feeling deceived and enraged by Pink Diamond's manipulations. At Rose's fountain, Sapphire expresses anger and doubts, blaming Pink Diamond for leading the Crystal Gems based on a lie. As the truth unfolds, Sapphire gains a deeper understanding of Pink Diamond's intentions, realizing that Rose Quartz was inspired by Earth's beauty. The episode concludes with a shock as Sapphire discovers Ruby's departure through a letter. Later, Amethyst and Steven join Greg and Ruby on a cliff, where Ruby reveals she's okay with being on her own. Greg supports Ruby's choice, emphasizing that if being apart is what Ruby wants, it's what Garnet wants too. However, later that night, Ruby confesses to Steven that she misses Sapphire. Steven encourages her, and Ruby realizes that she doesn't have to give up her individuality to be with Sapphire. The next day, Ruby proposes to Sapphire, and they decide to be Garnet by choice, creating a unique future together. As the wedding celebration unfolds, Steven sings to encourage the crystal gems, including a now reformed Bismuth, to focus on the positive and celebrate Ruby and Sapphire's wedding. The ceremony takes place on the beach with heartfelt vows exchanged, and Ruby and Sapphire fuse back into Garnet. The joyous occasion takes a turn when the diamonds, Blue and Yellow, arrive in their arm ships and attack. Blue Diamond's sorrowful aura affects the gems, but Garnet, Lapis, Connie, and Lion resist. Lapis returns and joins the crystal gems, showcasing her newfound strength. Despite initial setbacks, including Peridot's poofing, Steven enters a psychic plane, convinces the diamonds of Pink Diamond's existence, and awakens to their astonishment as they realize Steven is Pink Diamond. Steven clarifies to Blue and Yellow Diamond that he is not Pink Diamond, but rather a new life created when Pink Diamond gave up her physical form. He then implores Blue and Yellow Diamond to help heal the corrupted Centipedal, revealing her as Nephrite. Frustrated by the inability to permanently cure her, Yellow suggests involving White Diamond. The group travels to Homeworld using Pink Diamond's ship, surprising a crowd celebrating Pink Diamond's return. White Diamond's Pearl informs them that only Steven is needed to meet White. White Diamond condescendingly welcomes him, setting the stage for the next phase. Steven dreams of Pink Diamond's memories, particularly a playful interaction with a pink pearl. The next day, he proposes a ball to Blue and Yellow Diamond to unite Homeworld and heal corrupted gems. The ball's preparations reveal the restrictions imposed by Homeworld, and at the event, Steven's attempt to dance with Connie leads to the formation of Stevonnie. Enraged, Yellow and Blue Diamond force the fusions to unfuse and poof the gems. Also, Stevonnie is isolated in a room for breaking Homeworld's rules. In the episode Escapism, Stevonnie finds themselves trapped in a Homeworld prison tower but discovers a way to communicate using psychic powers. Steven enters a Watermelon Steven on Mask Island, where he encounters different tribes and attempts to build a raft to escape. After facing challenges, including a watermelon shark, Lion finds him and brings him to Greg and Bismuth on Earth. Unable to verbally convey his message about Homeworld, Steven reports to writing a plea for help, and his friends understand. As he wakes up, Steven hopes for a positive response from Greg, Bismuth, and Lion. In the episode Change Your Mind, Steven experiences a vivid dream of Pink Diamond's memories and faces White, Yellow, and Blue Diamond's corrupting light attack. He wakes up in the prison tower, realizing it was all a nightmare, and Connie is with him. Blue Diamond arrives, upset about the Era 3 ball incident, and insists they apologize. Steven refuses, prompting Blue to attack, but he questions her cruel methods. Blue has a realization about Pink's unhappiness, leading to a change of heart. Steven, Connie, and Blue work together to find the crystal gems. They confront Yellow Diamond, and Steven persuades her to reconsider her pursuit of perfection. The United Diamonds head for Pink Diamond's ship, but White Pearl, under White Diamond's control, blocks their path. Blue and Yellow Diamond's ship, piloted by Bismuth, Peridot, and Lapis, intervene, engaging the mecha in a fierce battle. They connect the ships in an attempt to reason with the White Diamond, but she strikes Blue and Yellow Diamond, controlling them. Lapis, Peridot, and Bismuth are thrown off, and Steven, fusing with Amethyst to create Smoky Quartz, jumpstarts Amethyst's regeneration. Realizing fusion can awake the others, Steven fuses with Pearl, forming Rainbow Quartz 2.0. Eventually, all gems land safely, but the Diamond Mecha stomps on the crystal gems, intensifying the conflict. The crystal gems fused as Sunstone fend off the Diamond Mech's attack. To challenge White Diamond, they decide to fuse into Obsidian, a giant gem wielding a great sword. Bismuth, Connie, Lapis, and Peridot assist in distracting the mech. Obsidian, with combined gem weapons, successfully damages the mech. They create an opening, allowing the crystal gems to enter the mech through its eye. Inside, they confront White Diamond, who controls the minds of Amethyst, Garnet, and Pearl. Steven tries to convince White that his friends are fine as they are, but White argues that Pink Diamond still influences him. White attempts to remove Steven's gem, leading to a tense moment of suspense. Steven's gemstone is forcibly removed by White Diamond, separating him into a human form and a gem form. The gem form, initially resembling Pink Diamond and Rose Quartz, transforms into Gem Steven. White Diamond attempts to control Gem Steven using her mind control powers, but Gem Steven resists. Connie retrieves the weakened human Steven, and the two forms of Steven, Gem, and Human reunite and combine into the familiar half-gem, half-human hybrid. White Diamond loses control over the other gems, and Steven, with the crystal gems and additional allies, confronts White Diamond and encourages her to embrace change. In the aftermath, Steven, the crystal gems, and the diamonds return to Earth and then head to Rose's garden, submerging corrupted gems in the fountain's water, where the combined power of the diamonds restores their forms and minds. The healed gems play and interact, with Jasper's aggression diffused by Amethyst. The diamonds bid farewell, returning to Homeworld, leaving the crystal gems to enjoy a moment of peace on the beach.
Are the crystal gems?
After establishing peace in the gem universe, 16-year-old Steven declines the diamond's offer to rule, choosing Earth. However, a manic gem named Spinal arrives, using a rejuvenator to erase the crystal gem's memories. With Steven unable to poof, he seeks a solution, leading to quirky attempts to restore his friend's memories. Steven discovers Spinal's history and helps her regain her memories. It appears that she was once a companion of Pink Diamond, but their relationship took a turn for the worse when Pink acquired her own colony. Pink proposed a game in which she had to remain stationary until her return, leaving Spinal in a state of suspension for staggering 6,000 years. A truly challenging ordeal. Now, having returned to Earth, Spinal harbors a desire to eradicate it, as it represents the very planet that severed her connection with Pink. As Steven confronts Spinal, his gem powers return. A destructive drill threatens Earth, but Steven, aided by the healed gems and Spinal, saves the day. The diamonds arrive, offering to live on Earth, but find Spinal and decide to take her back to Homeworld. The story ends with a rebuilt beach city, a dinner party, and a Broadway-style song finale.
Are the crystal gems?
In Little Homeschool, after establishing peace on Earth, Steven introduces us to Little Homeworld, where gems learn to live freely on Earth. Despite Amethyst's advice to stop fixing everyone, Steven ventures into a forest to find a resistant gem, Jasper. They engage in a fight, and Steven, tapping into a new power where he glows pink, wins. Instead of teaching Jasper, Steven asks for her lessons. In Rosebuds, Steven grapples with the discomfort caused by the newly unbubbled Rose Quartz's striking resemblance to his mother, Rose Quartz. Inviting them for a slumber party, the Rose Quartzes inadvertently reveal their own insecurities. A heart-to-heart conversation with Steven allows for mutual understanding, and the Rose Quartzes depart with a sense of camaraderie. In volleyball, Steven attempts to heal Pink Pearl's scar, leading him to discover that the damage is psychological. Seeking help at the reef, an AI diagnoses Pink Pearl's trauma, revealing that Pink Diamond, in a tantrum about not getting her own colony, caused the injury. This revelation sparks tension between Pearl and Pink Pearl, which angers Steven, and he starts glowing pink again, causing the reef to eradicate the pearls. The pearls argue until their emotional connection leads to a fusion, Mega Pearl, who escapes the reef with Steven. Although unable to physically heal Pink Pearl, the experience helps both pearls gain a more comprehensive understanding of Pink Diamond's complex nature, fostering a shared connection and closure. In Little Graduation, Steven attends the Off-Color's graduation party, where Lars announces his decision to return to space. Steven struggles with the changes in his friends' lives and confronts his feelings of isolation. The celebration takes a turn when Steven creates a dome, expressing his internal turmoil. In a heart-to-heart conversation, his friends reassure Steven that friendships endure despite life's changes. Steven's emotional turmoil subsides, and he accepts the inevitability of everyone moving forward. In Together Forever, Steven grapples with the uncertainty of his future as Connie prepares for college. Fueled by anxiety, he seeks advice from Ruby and Sapphire, who encourage him to propose to Connie. Following their suggestions, Steven plans a romantic picnic and surprises Connie with a heartfelt song expressing his desire to be with her. However, his proposal catches Connie off guard, and she gently declines, emphasizing their youth and the need for personal growth. Heartbroken, Steven undergoes a visible emotional upheaval, sinking into the ground in a burst of pink energy. Garnet, observing his distress, joins him as they walk home, and she imparts valuable insights about relationships and the complexity of the future. Steven, frustrated and tearful, attempts solace by eating a broken cake. Now, due to these changes, Steven starts having these uncontrollable rages and pink transformations. He seeks help from everyone, including Peridot, Lapis Lazuli, Greg, and Bismuth. He even visits Homeworld to find a solution to his problems, but all in vain. In Everything's Fine, Steven struggles with internal turmoil, denying his emotional struggles and putting on a facade of normalcy. Attempting to help others in the little homeworld, his misguided efforts lead to chaotic consequences. Despite warnings from those who care about him, Steven insists he's fine. However, his breaking point comes when he confesses to nearly shattering White Diamond and actually shattering Jasper, expressing deep self-loathing and a sense of identity loss. The episode ends with a disturbing transformation, revealing spikes emerging from Steven's back, symbolizing his emotional unraveling. In I Am My Monster, chaos ensues as Steven transforms into a colossal pink monster. The Crystal Gems, Beach City residents, and even the Diamonds attempt to calm him, but their efforts prove futile. As Steven's fury intensifies, Garnet's attempt to reach him leads to a group effort. Connie's heartfelt words and a kiss bring Steven back, and his tears, glowing with transformative power, restore him to his true self. The episode ends with a tearful, relieved Steven surrounded by loved ones. In the emotional finale of Steven Universe Future, Steven announces his decision to move out and face new challenges. He shares heartfelt goodbyes with the Gems, little homeworld residents, and his father, gifting them meaningful items. Connie supports his independence, but the Gems, initially appearing nonchalant, eventually reveal their deep sorrow. Steven, overwhelmed, questions their reactions, only to discover that they were hiding their sadness to support him. The Gems share tearful farewells, assuring Steven that they'll always be a part of his future. As he drives away, a bittersweet departure concludes the transformative series. And thus, our recap of Steven Universe comes to an end as well. It's a wacky adventure with some heartfelt moments too. But what do you think? What was your favorite part of the show? Do let us know down in the comments, and as for everything else, if you enjoyed